January 6th was a very interesting day because they don't report it properly. People in that crowd said it was the most beautiful day they've ever experienced. There was love in that crowd. There was love and unity.
Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country and our Constitution.
So I call them the J6 hostages, not prisoners. I call them the hostages.
There'll be a lot of pardons and commutations of J6 defendants, January 6 defendants under your administration?
Yes, absolutely.
They were there with love in their heart. That was an unbelievable, and it was a beautiful day. It was a beautiful day. January 6th was a very interesting day because they don't report it properly. I believe it was the largest crowd I've ever spoken before. People in that crowd said it was the most beautiful day they've ever experienced. There was love in that crowd. There was love and unity. I have never seen such spirit and such passion and such love.
This program contains mature content. Viewer discretion is advised.
President Trump supporters are gathering in D.C. to protest.
We will stop the steal. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you.
They have been summoned by the President of the United States.
We fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Their goal? To overturn the presidential election. The mob was hunting Republicans who turned on Trump. Now on frontline, Trump's American carnage.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Donald Trump's presidency ended in a violent assault on American democracy.
He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. And you know how you make America great again? Tell Donald Trump to go to hell.
Guys, we have a con artist as the front runner in the Republican Party. A guy who has made a career out of telling people lies.
This man is a pathological liar. He lies practically every word that comes out of his mouth.
In Georgia, a Republican election official had a warning to the president and Mitch McConnell.
Potential acts of violence. Someone's going to get hurt, someone's going to get shot, someone's going to get killed. And it's not right.
So, look, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes. So what are we going to do here, folks? I only need 11,000 votes. Fellas, I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break.
Phone call where President Trump is heard pressuring officials to overturn the election that he
remarkable phone call. The president does vaguely threaten the state election. Some legal experts say this could actually be criminal behavior.
Desperate, Trump was running out of time and out of options.
Donald Trump tried to get the courts to overturn the election. They refused. He tried to get Republican legislators to overturn the election. They refused. He tried to bully governors into overturning the elections. They refused. He went after the secretaries of state, one after another.
He turned to Vice President Mike Pence with a stunning demand. Then, with Congress meeting to ratify the election, Trump unleashed the insurrection.
We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore, and that's what this is all about. Now it is up to Congress to confront this egregious assault on our democracy. And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
Inside the Capitol, Mike Pence would disobey the president. As the angry crowd ransacked the Capitol, Trump gave them a target.
Trump, in the middle of it, he sent out a tweet attacking Mike Pence.
Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done, to protect our country and our Constitution.
The mob began hunting for Pence. Donald Trump had brought carnage to the nation's capital. In his wake, a fractured Republican Party and a bitterly divided America.
It is not over. This is an ongoing attack on democracy. The big lie is still out there.
On that fateful day, President Trump's words were reckless. They endangered my family and everyone at the Capitol. But the American people deserve to know that on that day, President Trump also demanded that I choose between him and the Constitution. I chose the Constitution, and I always will. I believe that anyone who puts themselves over the Constitution should never be President of the United States. And anyone who asks someone else to put them over the Constitution should never be President of the United States again.
Over the past several weeks, we've amassed overwhelming evidence about a fake election. They rigged an election. They rigged it like they've never rigged an election before. All of us here today do not want to see our election victory stolen by emboldened radical left Democrats, which is what they're doing, and stolen by the fake news media. That's what they've done and what they're doing. We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore, and that's what this is all about. We will stop the steal. Today I will lay out just some of the evidence proving that we won this election, and we won it by a landslide. This was not a close election. And they say we lost. We didn't lose. He had 80 million computer votes. It's a disgrace. There's never been anything like that. We will not let them silence your voices. We're not going to let it happen. What an absolute disgrace that this could be happening to our Constitution. Because if Mike Pence does the right thing, we win the election. The states got defrauded, and then we're stuck with a president who lost the election by a lot. We're just not going to let that happen. They've used the pandemic as a way of defrauding the people, because we're going to have somebody in there that should not be in there, and our country will be destroyed, and we're not going to stand for that. But this year, using the pretext of the China virus and the scam of mail-in ballots, Democrats attempted the most brazen and outrageous election theft. And there's never been anything like this. It's a pure theft in American history. Everybody knows it. But we look at the facts, and our election was so corrupt that in the history of this country, we've never seen anything like it. Our media is not free. It's not fair. And it's become the enemy of the people. No third world countries would even attempt to do what we caught them doing. And you'll hear about that in just a few minutes. And Mike Pence is going to have to come through for us. And if he doesn't, that will be a sad day for our country. This egregious assault on our democracy. Because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong. Because of the fact that we had a lot of eyes watching one specific state, but they cheated like hell anyway. You have one of the dumbest governors in the United States. And you know, when I endorsed him, I didn't know this guy. At the request of David Perdue, he said, a friend of mine's running for governor. What?
In regard to today's Electoral College count, the president again put pressure on Vice President Mike Pence, saying it's up to him to make things right. For the record, the vice president has no power to change the electoral count vote.
January 6th was a very interesting day because they don't record it properly. I believe it was the largest crowd I've ever spoken before. People in that crowd said it was the most beautiful day they've ever experienced. There was love in that crowd. There was love and unity. I have never seen such spirit and such passion and such love. Calling me, they were coming to me, they wanted to talk, it was all coming together. Success will bring everybody under the same tent.
Americans should be angry, they should be outraged.
They were there with love in their heart. That was an unbelievable, and it was a beautiful day. And you know,
behavior yesterday and the weeks and months before that has just been outrageous from the president. And what happened on Capitol Hill yesterday is a direct result of his poisoning the minds of people with the lies and the frauds.
President Trump sought to overturn the results of an election, and of a fair election. He sought a coup by misleading people with lies. My father and our neighbors were misled also with lies, and I know where such lies lead.
Would you support him if he were the nominee, Donald Trump?
No, I said before, I don't think he can win. I'm not interested in backing a loser.
No excuse for the violence that took place at the Capitol on January 6th. The president's wrong. He was wrong that day, and I had actually hoped that he would come around in time, but he hasn't done so. And I think it's one of the reasons why the country just wants a fresh start.
It was always a lie. The whole thing was always a lie. And it was a lie meant to rile people up.
In our nation's 246-year history, there has never been an individual who is a greater threat to our republic than Donald Trump. He tried to steal the last election using lies and violence to keep himself in power after the voters had rejected him. He is a coward. A real man wouldn't lie to his supporters. He lost his election, and he lost big.
And I told him that the stuff that his people were shoveling out to the public was bullshit. I mean, that the claims of fraud were bullshit.
How did that affect your perspective about the election when Attorney General Barr made that statement?
It affected my perspective. I respect Attorney General Barr. So I accepted what he was saying.
And so those people today who have been lied to consistently by the president about a fraudulent election, and betrayed the American people.
Look, in terms of the 2020 election and January the 6th, it's Donald Trump who's living in fantasy land.
The mob was fed lies. They were provoked by the president and other powerful people.
Okay. Well, wait a minute. Let's go to recent. But that's cheating on the election.
You lost the 2020 election.
Brad.
There were recounts in all of the swing states. There was not significant widespread.
We're trying to get just numbers of votes.
Widespread corruption. There was not a sense of that. There were lawsuits, more than 50 of them, by your lawyers. Some in front of judges that you appointed.
Look at Wisconsin.
That came out with no evidence.